Hey there, folks. Tonight, we're diving into a deeply concerning situation unfolding in the Middle East. Israel recently made a move that sent shockwaves through the region and beyond. They've decided to ban the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, better known as UNRWA. Yeah, you heard that right. They're essentially kicking out the organization tasked with providing essential aid to millions of Palestinian refugees. This is a big deal, and we're going to break down exactly why. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's address the elephant in the room. This whole Israel-Palestine conflict is incredibly complex and emotionally charged. There are strong opinions on both sides, and frankly, it's a topic that's been debated and fought over for decades. What we're going to do tonight is try to cut through the noise and present you with the facts. We'll examine the arguments from both sides and explore the potential consequences of this ban. So, buckle up, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. This ban isn't just some abstract political maneuver. It has real-world implications for millions of vulnerable people who rely on UNRWA for basic necessities like food, healthcare, and education. We're talking about families, children, the elderly, people who are already struggling to survive amidst conflict and displacement. The Israeli government claims UNRWA is biased against them and perpetuates the conflict. They argue that the agency's very existence keeps the Palestinian refugee issue alive, preventing a lasting solution. On the other hand, Palestinians and international organizations are sounding the alarm, warning of a humanitarian catastrophe if UNRWA is forced out. They argue that the agency is a lifeline for millions, and that its absence would create a vacuum, leading to further instability and suffering. So, as you can see, there's a lot at stake here. Over the next few minutes, we'll unpack this complex issue and try to understand what this ban means for the people caught in the middle. To fully grasp the gravity of this situation, we need to take a step back and look at the history of UNRWA. Established in 1949, UNRWA was created to provide relief and support to Palestinian refugees who were displaced during the Arab-Israeli conflict. Over the decades, the agency has expanded its services to include education, healthcare, and vocational training, becoming a cornerstone of support for Palestinian communities. UNRWA operates schools that educate over 500,000 children, providing them with not just academic knowledge, but also a sense of normalcy and hope for the future. Their healthcare services reach millions, offering everything from routine checkups to emergency medical care, which is crucial in conflict zones where healthcare infrastructure is often lacking. Vocational training programs help young people and adults acquire skills that can lead to employment, fostering economic stability in a region where opportunities are scarce. The international community's reaction to Israel's ban on UNRWA has been mixed. Some countries support Israel's stance, citing concerns about the agency's alleged biases, while others condemn the move, warning of the dire humanitarian consequences. For the people living in refugee camps, UNRWA is more than just an aid organization, it's a lifeline. The ban threatens to disrupt their daily lives in ways that are hard to quantify but easy to imagine. As we continue to explore this issue, we'll hear from UNRWA workers, community leaders, and the families who depend on their services. Their stories will shed light on the human impact of this political decision. Stay with us as we delve deeper into the ramifications of this ban and what it means for the future of Palestinian refugees and the broader Middle East region. All right, let's rewind the clock a bit. To understand the current situation, we need to know how UNRWA came to be in the first place. Picture this, it's 1948, and the State of Israel is established. This event, known as the Nakba, Arabic for catastrophe, resulted in the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians from their homes. They fled to neighboring countries like Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, and the West Bank and Gaza Strip. The international community, recognizing the scale of this humanitarian crisis, created UNRWA in 1949. Its mission to provide relief and support to these Palestinian refugees until a just and lasting solution to their plight could be found. For over 70 years, UNRWA has been doing just that. They've been running schools, providing healthcare, distributing food aid, and offering essential services to generations of Palestinian refugees. Now, here's where things get a little complicated. Unlike the UNHCR, the UN agency that deals with refugees globally, UNRWA has a unique mandate. It's specifically responsible for Palestinian refugees and their descendants who were displaced in 1948 and subsequent conflicts. This unique status has been a point of contention, with some arguing that it perpetuates the refugee problem by not resettling Palestinians in other countries like other refugee populations. Despite the criticisms, UNRWA has remained a vital lifeline for millions. They operate hundreds of schools and health clinics across the region, providing education and healthcare to those who would otherwise have limited access. Their food assistance programs are essential for families struggling to put food on the table, and their infrastructure projects help improve living conditions in overcrowded refugee camps. But now, with this ban, their very existence is in jeopardy. Over the decades, UNRWA has adapted to changing circumstances, introducing vocational training programs to help refugees gain skills and employment. They have also launched microfinance initiatives to support small businesses within the camps. In times of crisis, UNRWA's emergency response teams have been on the front lines, providing critical supplies and support to those affected by conflict and natural disasters. Their community centers offer a space for social and cultural activities, empowering women and fostering a sense of community among the refugees. UNRWA's educational programs have been particularly impactful, with many students going on to achieve great success in various fields. As we look to the future, the role of UNRWA remains as crucial as ever, providing hope and support to millions of Palestinian refugees who continue to face uncertainty and hardship. Now, let's hear out the other side of the argument. Israel has long been critical of UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East. Accusations have been made that the agency is biased, incites against Israel, and perpetuates the ongoing conflict rather than helping to resolve it. They argue that UNRWA's unique definition of Palestinian refugees, which includes descendants of the original refugees, inflates the number of refugees and hinders a long-term solution. Think about it. Other refugee populations around the world are generally resettled or integrated into their host countries over time, allowing them to start anew. Israel believes that UNRWA's continued existence prevents Palestinians from moving on and accepting Israel's right to exist as a sovereign state. They argue that the agency fosters a sense of grievance and entitlement among Palestinians, making it harder to achieve lasting peace in the region. Furthermore, Israel has accused UNRWA schools of using textbooks that promote anti-Israel sentiment and even inciting violence against Israelis. They've pointed to instances where UNRWA facilities have allegedly been used to store weapons by Hamas, the militant group that controls Gaza, further complicating the situation. Now, it's important to note that UNRWA has repeatedly denied these accusations, stating that they are unfounded and politically motivated. They maintain that they are a neutral, humanitarian organization committed to serving Palestinian refugees based on humanitarian need, without any political agenda. They've also condemned any misuse of their facilities and have cooperated with investigations in the past to ensure transparency and accountability. However, these arguments haven't swayed the Israeli government, which views UNRWA as part of the problem, not the solution to the refugee issue. They believe that dismantling the agency and transferring its responsibilities to the Palestinian Authority or other international bodies is the best way forward to achieve a sustainable solution. Of course, this stance has drawn sharp criticism from Palestinians and the international community, who see it as a dangerous move that will exacerbate the already dire humanitarian situation in Gaza and the West Bank. Critics argue that without UNRWA, millions of Palestinian refugees would be left without essential services such as education, healthcare, and food assistance, leading to further instability. The debate over UNRWA's role and future is a microcosm of the larger Israeli-Palestinian conflict, reflecting deep-seated tensions and differing perspectives on how to achieve peace and justice in the region. Okay, let's get into the specifics of what Israel is actually doing right now. They've passed two bills that essentially make it impossible for UNRWA to operate within Israel's self-declared borders, including East Jerusalem, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip.